Buff Nation, what's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We have a new visit that I'm wanting to talk about. We mentioned briefly last night in the Buff Blitz with Russ. That's going to be fun to talk about, as well as I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other names that I'm hoping Coach Prime and the recruiting staff end up reaching out to in the transfer portal. I think that these would be some great targets. A lot of this is credit to you guys in the comments and the chats. You have brought these names up, and now we're going to dive into them and take a little bit of a look at who they are. Before I get started, please join the chat, like, subscribe if you haven't done that yet for daily Buffs content. And shout out to Julian Lewis. They weren't able, Carrollton High School, they weren't able to get the state title championship, game one last night, which sucks, but credit to him. They had a great season, and now he's here in Boulder running with the scout team against the ones, throwing the kid into the fire, seeing what he can do. I love to see that he's already here. We also got a handful of other true freshmen that are joining for bowl practices, so that's really awesome. Landon Lee, what's up? Hope you guys enjoy some of these names. Let me know what you guys think of them. And again, credit to you guys in the comments, as well as Guru TV. Some of these guys have been brought up from Guru's chat as well, and I want to shout him out, and Shirley as well, always here like clockwork. But let's go ahead and get into the fun stuff, guys. We have a visit coming up for a DB. TK, what's going on, man? For a DB here. He is, if I can scroll up, Jordan Scruggs, a cornerback from South Alabama, 5'11", 176. So, adequately sized. Normally, we go for corners, 6 foot and above, but 5'11", that's cool with me. You see plenty of 5'11" corners in the NFL. So, short but mighty. That might be something rude to say to Mr. Scruggs. I'm sorry, man, but on this team, in this secondary, you're one of the shorter dudes on it, but you can play. That is for sure. Jordan Scruggs, South Alabama, just 1 year, guys. Take a look at the coverage grades here, 80.9. That's really great. Overall defensive rating of 81. Run defense, 82.6. Tackling, 83.6. So what this tells me is that, hey, this guy must be a pretty short tackler, right? Good cover corner, right? Let's take a look. 66 total tackles on defense this year. Only 6 missed tackles for a percentage of 8.3 missed. Wow. So, hey, 92% of the time he's bringing the ball carrier down. 24 stops. I love to see that. And then, really good coverage statistics as well. Gave up 28 receptions on 46 targets for 387 yards. So, thought he shut down guys pretty well when you look at those statistics. Gave up 3 touchdowns, but he had 4 PBUs and an interception and only 1 penalty on the year, which came in week 1. So he finished his last however many games he played in. Did he play in the bowl game already? No. Last 11 games of the regular season had no penalties. So that's really, really cool. And he fills a big need for us guys because he's a slot corner. Now, this is a discussion probably for another time. If this quarterback, Pavia from Vanderbilt, if his ruling kind of sets the groundwork for all junior college players to not burn years of eligibility when they play junior college, we potentially could see somebody like Preston Hodge come back, right? Who has junior college experience. But until that is gospel, until that's actually not a one-off case right now, which is it appears to be, we're going to be losing Preston Hodge, and we need a guy that's going to be really dependable in the slot. So the fact that he took 462 slot snaps this year and 167 in the box, 5'11", 176 pounds, that tells me that he's scrappy, he's versatile, and he's very quick. Obviously, I haven't had time yet to take a look at any of his film or highlights, any of the South Alabama games, but just looking at some of this information, I find pretty interesting. And then also, he had no snaps as an outside corner, so that's something to keep in mind. Can he do it? I'm sure he can. Playing the slot, but this is a guy that would come in and fill an immediate role that we definitely need. Somebody who is a slot expert, like Preston Hodge was. Man, he can cover that slot and just kill it. So plenty of years of eligibility left. Should have 3 years. So he's visiting this weekend, I believe, and I love that reception percentage of only 61. So I really do love this find, and we'll see if he ends up signing with the Buffs, and if he does that, best decision of his life, and we'll see how his game translates to the next level. But as a true freshman, I believe true freshman, coming out here, I would love to see, or I do love to see the fact that he was so productive and he started at South Alabama, which they're G5, I believe. So love to see that. Let me verify that. Sun Belt. Cool. So G5. So that's who we have visiting. Jordan Scruggs, somebody we have targeted, and I bet he's put on more weight since his, high school weight, 176. Anyways, let's continue to move on. How about we talk some running back, guys? This is a guy who's been brought up a little bit. I've seen CJ Donaldson Jr., a running back who just entered the portal from West Virginia. They're having a decent amount of turnover right now with, a new coaching staff coming in. Rich Rod, I think it's really cool that he's back at West Virginia. We'll see. Hopefully he can have a good second stint there, but really productive running back. As you can see in the Big 12, ran for 739 yards, 4.6 average, 11 TDs, 2 fumbles. Yards after contact. Okay. You might want to see that a little bit higher, but guys, I'm not going to be super picky right now with the running back position. I just want some bodies, man, some bodies that have done it. And like a little under 3 yards per or yards after contact per attempt. Not the highest elusiveness rating, but seems to me like a guy who can still get some tough yardage and still break one every now and then. You see he had 9 runs over 15 yards, 20 yards, or 20 runs over 10 yards. So he can still break some big runs, which is great to see. I love that. A lot of college experience. Again, 3 years at West Virginia. He has over 2,000 career yards rushing on 418 attempts. Let's go ahead and do it. I don't think he has much receiving experience. I could be wrong, or like production. Okay, he caught 14. That's not something to overlook. So caught 14 passes this past year for 140 yards and a touchdown. Pass blocking, that's something that he's gonna have to get a lot better at. I mean, these pass block grades suck, man. So 38.1. We can take a look at them and see, like, did he give up sacks, pressures? What was that? Gave up 1 sack on 9 pressures. So we'll see how all that was graded. But hey, you'll take that on 66 snaps, only giving up 1 sack. Hey, you'll take that. And what I love about him, I don't know how I didn't lead with this, because I like my guys big, 6'2", 238, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Big time bruiser that has some hands too. So love to see that. I don't see why he wouldn't be a higher rated blocker. Seems like he has great games and then bad rated. Man, it's PFF for you. So I would love to see us bring him in here. Draft eligible in 2026. So sign me up. I think that would be great. Bring me CJ Donaldson. Now, another guy you guys have brought up in the comments is Cameron Seldon, halfback or running back from Tennessee. In a limited role, 23 carries for 118 yards this year, 5.1 average. Okay, so I think that's great. Yards after contact per attempt is 3.13. I love that. And a little bit higher of an elusive rating, 78. He had 3 rushes, go for over 10 yards. So that's a nice little percentage on 23 rushes. Couple years at Tennessee so far. Again, only has 50 career carries, but Tennessee, they've had a lot of great running backs over the last handful of years, and so I would be interested in bringing in Cameron Seldon. He's kind of similar to some of the guys that we've brought in recently, Isaiah Augustive, Dallin Hayden, guys that were at some bigger schools that put out some really good running backs, but just kind of in limited time, and seeing if maybe a change of scenery benefits them. Cameron Seldon kind of seems to me like he's in that similar slot, but I would love to bring him in too, because again, bigger guy, 6'2", 222 pounds. I like having those big running backs for sure. Let's see what he did in pass block. Graded 80. That's great. No sacks, no pressures at all. Hasn't given up a sack or pressure throughout his 20 career pass blocks. So that's nice. Don't think much of a factor in the receiving game. Yeah, one catch on one target for -2 yards. So might have to look at his high school tape to figure out if there's some promise there with the receiving ability. But yeah, I would love to bring in Cameron Seldon. I'm not picky right now. We got a lot of spots to fill. Let's move on here to receiver, somebody that has also entered the portal from West Virginia. Ric'Darious Farmer, 5'11", 165-pound guy. True freshman this year, had 6 receptions for 54 yards. Not really much you can gain from it. I believe he was a fairly highly regarded recruit coming out. So that's somebody to maybe keep an eye on. But hopefully, we struck out. We got totally trolled by Caleb Odom. Eric Rivers went to Georgia Tech. So we'll see him week 1 next season. Hopefully we get Kevin Concepcion. That would be amazing. He would, I think, be the best out of all those wide receivers. And, hopefully we get him, but we'll see. I'm not really sure. Let's talk about tackle, guys. Can Marcus Dumervil, 1, is he interested in Colorado? 2, is he interested in playing right tackle, potentially starting at right tackle for the Buffs? We need a right tackle. Yes, please. So coming over here from the Big Ten, 6'5", 310. All right. Experienced player. So you can see he's been in college ball a heck of a long time. Started out at LSU for 3 years and then played at Maryland last year. But I believe this was the first year in which he got like significant playing time. As you can see, he started some games, was a part-time player at, kind of throughout. Looks like Maryland was running a lot of rotation at their tackle positions. So, because even in the games in which he wasn't starting, I mean, you still see he got 56 snaps as the left tackle against Oregon. He got 41 snaps against Rutgers. So it sounds like they had a little bit of a rotation going there. Pass block grade, not the best. His games against Oregon and Penn State, going up against some guys that might have some first round defensive line picks this year. Yeah, didn't do too hot in the grades category, but nonetheless, he gave up 1 sack this year at Maryland, only 14 pressures. So that's something that I look at is definitely the pressure amount. So only 14, that looks good, and no penalties on the year. So I think that's really solid. Again, he was mainly playing left tackle instead of right tackle, had 15 snaps at right tackle against Minnesota. Looks like he graded out like okay over there. Could he be somebody that has more success at the right tackle position at Colorado than he did at left tackle in the Big Ten? Possibly. I think so. Again, I don't really know what the extent of Philip Houston's injury is. I don't really know. And I can't even remember, man, if he's supposed to be back or next year. Is he a junior, senior? I can't remember, but it would be nice to have a tackle that's experienced, that's played, over 400 snaps in his career, a little bit more of a veteran, obviously. I believe this would be his last year of eligibility, but right now, like a lot of the top tackle targets that we were going after, or I don't even know if we were going after, but that I wanted CU to target there with other schools. So now we're seeing some other tackles enter the portal, I think, for this next wave. And Marcus Dumervil, I would love to see him come out here if he has an openness and a willingness to play right tackle. You could probably see him maybe string together the best season of his career. So we'll have to see. But of course, Cardi Smith, we'll see what he's got to say. Zach Owens, is he playing tackle guard? I don't know. But Marcus Dumervil, he's a guy that I think, I hope we keep our eye on. Now, let's talk about this other safety coming in here. UNLV, Jaylen Catalone. I believe he entered the portal today or yesterday. 5'11", 205. The dude was absolutely insane at UNLV. They had a really good defense this year. You see 77.7 coverage grade, tackling 76.1. He had 97 total tackles this year, 25 stops, 14 missed, but whatever. Let's see. Total ball hawk, guys. 5 interceptions as a safety, 2 pass breakups, gave up 2 touchdowns. Reception percentage when targeted was only 56.5, 26 of 46 for 426 yards. That's really impressive stuff in the Mountain West. And lined up all over the place. You can see 416 snaps at safety, 137 in the slot, 313 in the box. So physical guy, he can play the run well, he can cover. Seems to me like he's an all-around, safety that can cover, that can hit, that can be dependable in the run. So maybe we target him again. There really isn't any position group that I don't want us to target. So Jaylen Catalone, I think that would be great. And he's been somebody that's been around the block, been in college football for forever, since 2019 in Arkansas. And hey, what better way to finish off your college career than playing for CU? That's how I see it. And lastly, guys, you remember this name, a linebacker we brought in on a visit last year, ended up going to Memphis. It was Elijah Herring. He re-entered the portal, 6'2", 230, guy that we originally were recruiting last year from Tennessee. Productive guy at Tennessee. And this year, he had 68 total tackles, 5 sacks, guy that can cover, I think, fairly decently as well. So let's go ahead and bring him in too. Maybe this is the time for a reunion, right? But I don't know. We'll see what Coach Hart has up his sleeve, right? Because Coach Hart's cooking. He's going to cook it. So we'll have to see. But he did have 2 picks on the year over at Memphis, and if there's mutual interest, let's kick that thing off. Let's bring him back for a visit. I think that would be fun. So thanks for sticking with me, guys. That was 18 minutes of me breaking down these prospects. But biggest thing, again, if you're joining late, Jordan Scruggs is visiting this weekend. 5'11" corner from South Alabama, just was fantastic this year. 4 pass breakups, an interception, 80.9 coverage grade there in the Sun Belt Conference. Dude plays slot, a lot of slot, 462 snaps this year at slot. So could fill that Preston Hodge role for us. So with that being said, guys, I'll get to a few of your comments, and then I'll get out of here. Guys, I did just want to say, watch Caden Salter's 2023 game against Buffalo. Wow, last night, incredible stuff. I will be doing a film room on him shortly. Very impressed. What's up, everyone? TK. Man, this is what I'm talking about. Jason Watkins, Hall of Fame Media. Y'all go subscribe to him. Covers college football as well as has an OU channel. Good friend of the show. We need to get on to talk about Makari Vickers, because both you and Jay from Unfair Sports have had nothing but great things to say about him. Jay said, man, losing Makari Vickers was tough to swallow. He's definitely a big, high upside guy. He said he just has had trouble staying healthy. And so maybe the change of scenery out here in Colorado will do him well. And he says, man, dynamic playmaker out there in the defensive backfield. So I love it. Thank you, Miss Jobs. I was way overdue getting a haircut. So thank you to my friend Kevin. Got me lined up, got a little beard trim, got everything edged up right as well. So if you're in San Antonio, cool cuts. Yeah. Makari was a top 100 corner, and I saw him lock down one side of the field at the All-American game in San Antonio 2 years ago. If he's healthy, he's a legit shutdown guy. And it's from what I've kind of heard that we're bringing him in more so as a safety slot kind of guy. So let's see. I think that's kind of how he was originally projected. I know that he played, I think, a little bit more. Was he a little bit more of an outside corner in his limited snaps out there at OU? But nonetheless, I think that he's going to fit a great role here at CU, no doubt about it. Motivated, dedicated. What's going on, man? Y'all watched Juju last night? I watched as much as I could, man. I think he's CU ready with that offensive line, right? Wouldn't you say? Makari Vickers runs through trash well. Love to see that. It's not often we talk about the vision that a defensive back might need, to possess to be a good run defender. So that's cool to know, man. I love it. Hey, Russ, what's going on? Y'all go subscribe to Russ. Who's visiting this weekend? Because we lost plenty. Hey, to be honest, I know Scruggs is visiting. Let me pull this up here. My tweet is definitely... Oh, man, we can't see Cyclone Larry 69 commit to Texas Tech. What's up with that? You lose a bet or something? Give me 1 second, y'all. Man, I'm so pumped about the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Okay. So, man, I don't know. This is such an outdated list now. So this was later this month. I mean, I think the only other guy that I think is visiting that's on this list that hasn't visited and or committed to another school, if not us, is Tafik Bayard. So he's visiting, safety from USF. Yeah, we've covered him a little bit before as well. Let me pull him up, though, in case you're not familiar with him. I think a guy that would really benefit this defensive backfield well. So we got Scruggs and Bayard that are visiting, at least confirmed. 6'1", 191 pounds, so love to see that size from the safety. Yeah, grade out really well. Run defense, 79.9, 69.3 in coverage, 52 total tackles on the year. Let's see here. 14 receptions on 15 targets for only 168 yards. So that's, you'll take that all the time. Let's see. Had one interception, gave up no touchdowns on the year, no pass breakups, 85.6 NFL passer rating. So kind of lined up all over the place as a free safety and box safety. So a little bit in the slot. Seems like a versatile guy that is going to bring, some experience. I mean, it looks like this was his first year starting, but yeah, played over 500 snaps this year. So I would love to bring him out here. And again, we're losing a lot of leadership and experience in the secondary this year. So we're going to have plenty of new guys coming in this year to supplement. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Seldon hasn't gotten much run because of Dylan Sampson. But CB's saying he's got 4.3, 4.4 speed. Hey, that's what we need. We need somebody that can truly make somebody miss and take it to the house. What happened to the Texas D lineman? I don't know if it was ever official that Sayer Mitchell, was that his name, was ever coming out here for a visit. But I hope he does. But, man, I don't really know. Man, I love the fact that Juju's getting action with the scout team, and I think Mantrez Walker's already out here. I think Quanell Farrakhan's on his way out here, so that's really cool. I think I saw that on Instagram. Christian Hudson should be here, defensive lineman from Florida. Who else might be coming in? I think the majority of our high school guys should be in here for practice right now and then January. So no update yet on Ethan O'Connor. Wonder if Woldholt's looking at the right tackle from Washington State. Let me pull up his name here because I think I've seen his name float around Twitter as well. Let's see if I can find him. I think maybe I took like a screenshot here. Give me 1 second, guys. I like take screenshots of things when I see them, hoping that I can remember them at a later date. Not seeing it. No, let me know if you got a name. I'll pull it up. Hey, what's up, G5 Gabe? Hope you're doing well. I am going to the Alamo Bowl, section 139, baby. What website is this? Pro Football Focus, the premium, which you got to pay for. So, hey, yeah, thanks for supporting the channel because now I can try and give you, the premium stuff without you guys having to pay for it, right? Hey, I did not go to Supercuts. All right. Don't put that on my name. Don't put that on my barber now. Hey, what's going on, Bishop Frank? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, that's right. You know what we got in Vickers. He says, dog, seatbelt, Vickers. Go be great, seatbelt. The fact that his nickname is Seatbelt is awesome. Oh, the West Virginia kid run through trash. I love that. Hart can't recruit. Hey, I'm a Coach Hart defender right now, guys. We're gonna have to see how it plays out, but I'm gonna hate on him, man. I thought we got good running or good linebacker play this year, but man, I understand y'all want 5 stars. I understand. It's not wide receivers over here, man. But I mean, are we going to start getting on Jason Phillips right now because we don't have any stud wide receiver committed here yet? Yeah. Just keep that energy the same. Man, why are we talking about Peyton Kirkland? Come on now. Yeah, I think we need Concepcion. It'd be nice to have some more experience in this wide receiver room right now. That's how I see it. And bringing in another big D lineman, that would be fantastic. Of course, we got 330 pounds coming out here with Jaheim Otis, another 300 plus guy in Gabriel Lightfoot, which is awesome. But it would be nice to have another big body in there. Thank God we got guys like Amari McNeil, Tarian Carter, and Anquin Barnes coming back. Let's see how the room shakes out. I just did, man. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, you tell me. I mean, we got great production out of our wide receiver rooms this year from Jason Phillips, and we got a bunch of portal misses right now at the wide receiver position. They're coming here visiting Coach Phillips and just trolling us to Ole Miss afterwards, or they're not even coming on a visit and committing to Georgia Tech on site. Doesn't seem that different, man, with what's going on at the linebacker position in Coach Hart, right? Because, I mean, he got our linebackers right. And this is coming from somebody that's like, Coach Hart, get ready to learn FCS again. But I thought, hey, he coached up Nikai Hill Green to have his best career ever, or career year yet, with being second team all Big 12 linebacker. And we're freaking out because we only have one linebacker commit in the transfer portal after it being open for 9 days. I thought we all really liked Mantrez Walker as a linebacker commit. Are we just upset that NOB went to Michigan? we're upset about that. That we lost a high end guy to Michigan. Uh, I don't know, man. Yeah, Tafik Thomas, man, we got him too, but I don't know. Like when I'm just looking at the data right now, like I understand, man. Coach Hart, the memes are hilarious. I love it. But let's keep that energy the same now. Hey, let's talk about Kevin Mathis in corner right now. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about how Coach Oldholt hasn't brought in a right tackle yet. We're gonna talk about that. You guys just need to be patient, man. Holy hell. Rad Daddy, thank you for the $5 super chat. We need another big 320-pound D lineman. Also, Coach Hart and Coach Flea need to go. Man, you guys are ruthless. You guys are ruthless. I definitely want more beef up front. I like my linemen big. I like my safeties big, my receivers big, my quarterback, everything. When you're talking about football, I don't want to run out little giants. Leave that for the movies like Rudy. Nah, I want my team to be huge and intimidating. Now, let's talk about Coach Flea. Might be on you with that one, man. I think Coach Flea has elevated to the top guy on the hot seat right now for my assistant coaches on the Buffs. He's the one that's got the most work to do because we haven't been able to recruit well at that position, and we haven't seen those dudes coached up or get better. Just haven't. Now, can he redeem himself with Brandon Hood this year? Maybe we'll just have to see. But I wouldn't mind bringing in somebody who has coached at the running back position before that I think could be a really fun fit for this. I don't know if he's still coaching or even interested in doing it. But Ricky Williams, he was coaching at Incarnate Word here in San Antonio for a while. I think he was at Texas too. Was he at Texas? I can't remember. But it would be cool to have a guy come in here that can like teach these guys like how to juke or like, how to read and anticipate blocks. That would be great. Thank you for the super chat, Rad Daddy. Keith Tunstall, thank you for the $5 super. Appreciate your support. Mathis' son on offense is ready to take over, right? Hey, maybe as a slack guy for us, we could see Caleb Mathis do that. We didn't really see much of him this year. I guess he got a red shirt this year, right? So maybe we see him in the bowl game. We could see him get some run, but yeah, we very well could see Caleb Mathis have a role this year. We just, it's been a while since we've seen him, but that would be cool to see. I just want to continue to bring in as much depth as possible, competition as possible. We are counting out Brandon Davis Swain. This dog's going to be in the rotation next year, raising hell. Great point, Joe. I do forget about Brandon Davis Swain because he redshirted this year, so we didn't see him on the field. Hopefully, we can see him on the field for the bowl game here next weekend. I think that would be great. And are we going to play him more as like a 3-tech? Are we going to play him out on the edge at all? Maybe not as deep as like a 7, but we play him as like a 5-tech. I'm not really sure where they're going to have him. So maybe if you guys have watched some of the well-off, you guys can tell me if you've seen him play practice. But yeah. TK, I feel like I won the argument, man. I'm sorry. I count myself as undefeated. Oh, man. Okay, what else we got here? Yeah, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Says Coach Flea's been promoted to the hot seat. It's the formations that he needs to get creative with. We are basic as hell. And I'm curious, do you think that is because of the lack of athleticism we've had from like everybody on the line outside of Jordan Seaton? Like, I guess, Cash Cleveland, I think, does move a little bit better than Hank Zelinskas. So maybe, at best we have 2 guys that can move pretty well. And the rest of the guys are kind of stuck in the mud. Well, I guess Philip Houston could move pretty well. when he was playing, but a little bit undersized, right? And that has its drawbacks. But he could move, and he was very helpful in the run game when he was healthy. But yeah, does you think that has to do with us not being very creative in the run game? Is that we don't really want a bunch of guys pulling or can't expect them to get out wide fairly quickly? I don't know if Tyler Brown or Khalil Benson, really got the quickest feet. You O-line experts, let me know. Dave thinks fans are patient. Thank you for being a channel of Buff Buddies for 12 months, Jason, by the way. That really does mean a lot to have your support. Thank you. But you're right. I think college football fans need to be patient. I mean, it's an unrealistic expectation. No doubt about it. Man. But I mean, you guys are like me. I mean, you like having somebody to troll on, right? To put the blame on. Last year I loved, putting all the blame on Bill O'Boyle. It's always fun to have a scapegoat. It's always fun, make fun of Coach Flea. It's like, man, if maybe we don't run the ball because you don't pound the table enough for it. I'm sorry. I just think that could be part of the equation. That maybe he's not going to bat enough for his guys. I also struggle in your evaluation of talent. God bless Charlie Offerdahl, but he was our starting running back the first 2 weeks. So these are, a lot of question marks. But, we're always going to have that guy in the staff that people are going to target. And I guess for some reason, Coach Hart has gotten more of that than, I'm so glad he's gone, dude. I hated this dude. Trevor Riley, bald ass Trevor Riley, I was calling him the other day, just a god awful special teams coach. He was more interested in beating up GAs in the parking lot than actually doing his job in coaching football. Thank God he's off this team. And, he was such a bad coach, man. I don't even know what he's doing now. He was only good for the Saudi money that didn't come. And he was a trash coach. That was the worst special teams I've ever seen in my whole life in 2023. Rad Daddy, again, thank you for the $10 super. Hey, y'all smash that like, subscribe if you haven't as well. Please go subscribe to my friends Jason at Hall of Fame College Football, as well as Buff News Weekly. They've been in the chat. Thank you so much. No line is good enough to run the ball. I knew Coach Flea wasn't shit when he tried to run. Tiny ass Charlie Offerdahl out the middle against Nebraska, which was the strength of their defense. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I have anything left to say on that, Rad Daddy. Again, thank you for the $10 super. I think I think you said that perfectly. I do have some question marks in just the utilization of running backs through the 2 years of him being here. And like we saw a lot of that with Dylan Edwards, halfback dive with Dylan Edwards. It's like, what the hell? No, man, you want to get him the ball in space. And guys, it's not like we don't have a linebacker coming in here. Like, are you guys? I mean, I'm trying to remember. Like, were you guys excited for Nakai Hill Green to come out here? Because I was excited to have him come out here, and I think Reginald Hughes is built in that same mold coming out here from Jacksonville State. He's committed here, so I don't really understand like what all the fuss is up when I think we got one of the better linebackers in the portal right now with Reggie Hughes, who has committed. Did I miss something on here? No, I don't think so. What do you think about CU not targeting Jonte Cook? I think that's perfectly fine. We have I don't think we want to repeat any Cormani McLean situations here. So I think we have a pretty clear idea of guys who are going to fit well. And again, this is all just like rumors, stuff that you see on like message boards and stuff like that, like with the Texas Longhorns fans. But if even a fraction of, some of those things are true, it's just not even worth the extra time. Wasn't this the year the Buffs were going to be committed to the run? I felt like we committed to the run much more than what we did last year, J-Rad. And I think you got to take everything in context. This wasn't, the offensive line that was where we were going to run it 60% of the time. Also with a top 5 NFL draft pick and a Biletnikoff winner outside, like we're still going to throw the ball around quite a bit, but I felt like we had a much more balanced offense this year. It could have been even better if we could, run more efficiently. But we had maybe 3 or 4 games where we essentially had the same amount of rushes, if not more rushes than pass attempts this year. I would say that we committed to balanced football this year. It wasn't perfect, but I would say that we committed to it. Yeah. So hey, yeah. When TK, man, I feel like we're having this argument, man. You just keep giving me more ammo. So when are we gonna get at Jason Phillips, man, for just being used by all these guys in the portal, right? Because that's what we're upset with Coach Hart with, right? So why aren't we doing that with Jason Phillips? Oh man, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I agree, man. We did a great job. Period. Brandon Hood will take off next year in the run game. That's my hope. I mean, he was a Georgia running back, man. He did have SEC offers, and he chose to come here to CU. I want to see what this speed is all about. Unlike Woody Johnson of the New York Jets, I do not put much stock in video game ratings of players, such as, in that case, Jerry Jeudy, on why you're not going to trade for him. Because he was an 81 overall in Madden at the time, which is just an insane report from the New York Times. Nonetheless, Brandon Hood's got a nice speed rating on the college football video game. I want to see how that translates to real life. Let's be real. Jerry Jeudy got good this year. Yes, the change of scenery benefited him so much. I really am happy for him. It wasn't going to work out in Denver. Both parties are better off. But yeah, it was tough to see him go for a career night against my Broncos, man, his old team. But Kevin Stefanski has a pretty clear idea of how to use him, which I think is really helpful. And it also is very helpful when you have a quarterback worth a damn throwing him the ball. That is, Jameis Winston, that dude can sling it. Deshaun Watson's arm totally shot. And Russell Wilson couldn't read the field to save his life. So, he's getting the most competent quarterback play he's had throughout his entire career right now, Jameis Winston. And hopefully the Browns do something at quarterback next year to where, it's just not Deshaun Watson, right? And Russ is a similar situation, man. Like, you got an elite run game and you got a true, elite number 1 wide receiver right there with George Pickens, where he can roll out, he can throw balls deep. He's obviously cut Cortland Sutton on steroids a bunch. And I think that was the plan when he came here with Sean Payton, but it's just, guys, we got the worst running back room in the NFL right now. So the running game was never really there. And it just wasn't the right fit for what Sean Payton likes to do. You've seen that Arthur Smith and Russell Wilson, they're a much better fit for each other. So glad to see Russ having a good year too. That's nice to see. I thought he was going to be absolute dog water this year. And, good for him having success and rebounding. I hope we get a rematch against the Steelers in the playoffs. I think that would be really cool. But as long as Russ isn't playing the Broncos, man, I'm happy. I'm happy for his success. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. North side. Phillips had 4 wide receivers ready to play in Kansas State game. That's coaching. Again, guys, I just feel like you're being a little too, you're focusing a little bit too much on the negatives on one coach compared to the other. I thought that Coach Hart had a fantastic year this year. So, and he's actually brought in a transfer worth a damn right now, where we haven't done that at wide receiver. Is Concepcion just using us to troll us? I guess we'll all find out, right? But again, I I think people just want a scapegoat, man. Coach Hart's the popular choice right now, but I, if there's any assistant right now that I think needs the heat on his booty, it's Coach Flea. And with that being said, guys, I'll be back later. As always, go